Have you ever wondered why your content isn't converting the way you hoped? You're showing up, you're creating, you're posting, maybe even following someone's advice of exactly what to do, but something's not quite clicking. Well, in this episode, I'm answering a question that could shift everything for you, and that's why do people actually buy? I'll walk you through the three powerful reasons why someone chooses to invest in you and how your content can speak directly to each one. And I have no doubt that it's going to make your content feel clearer and far more purposeful. Welcome to the Powerful Content Podcast, your go to source for content creation, strategy, and business inspiration. I'm your host, Mel Daniels, content strategist, coach, and speaker, empowering women across the globe to grow their business with powerful content that connects, nurtures, and converts. So, if you're ready to create standout content that gets you noticed and remembered, or build an aligned audience who love you and are ready to buy from you, you're in the right place. I believe that content has the power to connect us all. It's up to you how you use it. Listen in for genuine and insightful chats with guests, as well as practical tools and strategies from me. It's so lovely to have you here. Let's dive into the show. I acknowledge the Wongal people of the Eora Nation as the traditional custodians of the country that I am recording from today. I recognise their continuing connection to the land and waters. I pay my respects to elders past and present and extend that respect to all First Nation people listening today. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to episode 172 of the Powerful Content Podcast. Thank you so much for being here and sharing the next 15 minutes or so with me. I really appreciate you tuning in. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I spoke about things that I learned from selling in a retail environment, and you can go back to episode 170 to hear more about those. But today, I wanted to flip this idea for you and talk about why people buy. It's something we all do. Well, maybe not as much recently with the cost of living, but whether it's a new course, whether it's a pair of new shoes, or even something free like signing up for a lead magnet or a free resource, we make these buying decisions every single day. But have you ever stopped and asked yourself why? Not in a because it was on sale or it was a good price kind of way, but the deeper why behind it. So recently I went shopping with my husband for some new work shirts, and he had this clear idea of what brand of shirts he wanted to try on. They happened to be on sale where I work on the retail floor, and with my staff discount, they ended up being a pretty good price. That aside, there's a lot of competition out there for work shirts, yet they were the only ones he ended up trying on and purchasing. So it kind of made me pause and reflect on this, because what made him make the decision to buy so quickly and not consider the competition? And no, it's not because he doesn't like shopping, because spoiler alert, he does. But more importantly, what does that mean for the way that we create content as business owners? Because if we understand why we buy, we can start to create content that actually connects with the right people and makes it easier for them to buy from us too. So today, I kind of want to simplify all of this for you. There are three key reasons I believe that we choose to buy. We all choose to buy. And when your content speaks to these three things to your ideal client, it becomes so powerful. It becomes aligned. It becomes purpose driven. And above all, it takes our ideal client on this journey with us. So rather than trying to constantly push the sale and hustle and falling flat, we're guiding them along this journey. And you know what? At the end of the day, all of this makes our content a lot easier to create. And who doesn't want that? Right? So let's talk about these three reasons why you buy and what that means for your content. So reason number one is you buy because you identify with the person. And this is probably one of the most underestimated reasons people buy. Now, in the example I just gave you of our work shirts purchase, you may think, well, it's a commodity, so people have nothing to do with it. Wrong. As we were looking through the shirts, trying to find 3 sizes we thought my husband might be so he could go and try them on and find the right one, a salesperson came up to us to help us. And straight away, he looked at my husband and picked his size and took some shirts out of their packaging that he happened to like and then took them to the change room for him. And it was so easy to buy from him that my hubby decided to move on to looking at suits. So once again, the salesperson picked exactly the right size just by looking at him, made it easy to order the suit. And so my husband didn't even bother trying on anything else. So if you think about someone that you've bought from recently, did you feel like they got you? Now, this salesperson definitely got my husband. He knew his size simply by looking at him. He had this vibe that made us both feel really comfortable with him. And not once was the salesperson pushy or salesy or sleazy. And that's real connection. We buy from people who feel familiar, who make us feel seen and heard. So, as content creators, what does that mean for us and our business? It means you need to share your stories, not just the wins or the glossy bits, but the wobbles and the lessons that you've learned along the way. It means showing your values. And I talk about this so much. Knowing what your values are, showing how you bring them to your business and your ideal client, and really showcasing to your ideal client the things that you care about. And it also means letting your real voice come through, not just using AI, not just sounding like a robot like everyone else out there, but the real you, the real voice. And this is what I aim to do in this podcast. I guess I want you to see what I care about. I want you to feel seen and not just show you the pretty side of business or the success side of business, but show real life and being the real me. I know it's hard to believe, but your ideal client doesn't want a polished robot. They want you, the beautiful, real you. And when they see themselves in your content because you're being the real you, they're far more likely to stick around and really come on that client journey with you. Okay, so the second reason why I think people buy is because they share interesting ideas. So, in that moment when someone says something and your brain just goes, oh my goodness, wow, yes, that. As a business owner, the people that I've paid to work with have really shown me a unique perspective, one that I've either probably never considered before or one that intrinsically aligned with me as a human being. So these interesting ideas that they've shared haven't always necessarily been groundbreaking or shocking, but they just felt, I guess, really fresh, clear, helpful, and really easy to follow. So when it comes to your content, this is where your thought leadership lives. And if you want to know more about developing your thought leadership, go back to episode 156. But thought leadership is basically where you share your frameworks, reframe what people believe about your area of expertise, and speaks to myths your ideal client is believing right now. So, with sharing the frameworks, you hear me talking about content creator archetypes, the 4 Ps of consistent content, holistic content marketing method, the content effect framework, and the client journey, just to name a few. So, all of these take interesting ideas and put them in a container that's easy for you to understand. Well, that's what I kind of hope. But that's the aim of it, to take these ideas and communicate them in a way that's really easy to understand. So, with thought leadership and helping to reframe what people believe about your area of expertise, I'm all about ditching the shoulds, about those formulas that we're constantly told that we have to emulate or else we won't succeed, we'll fail. And I also talk about bringing more you to your content. And lastly, around the myth side of things, for me, I like to talk about how you can create content your way in line with your strengths, not how someone tells you you should be creating, or that you can be a heart-led entrepreneur and still create content that encourages people to buy without being salesy or hustly. And when you consistently show up with these ideas, your thought leadership that spark something in someone, whether it's motivation, inspiration, those aha moments, people start to trust you. And that's super powerful. Now, reason number three that you buy is because you believe that they can solve your problem. So, this is the final piece, the belief. When we buy, it's because we believe that this person can help me. Now, with the work shirts, we believe that the person could help solve the problem of finding the right fitting shirt because he knew my husband's size just by looking at him. We were immediately impressed. And so the trust just skyrocketed very, very quickly. And if you think about something that you've bought recently, and particularly if you're choosing between two or more options that are super similar, you'll go with the person that you believe can help you. And that's often a result of the first two reasons we've already explored. You can identify with them and they share interesting ideas. And that belief does not come from one sales post on Instagram. It's built over time through the little things that you share. So, in your content, this looks like talking about the transformations that you offer. What can your ideal client be, do, or have as a result of working with you? It may include showing proof, so case studies and testimonials, even before and afters if you have them. And then finally, making that path clear, saying, here's how I help solve the challenge that you are facing. And when your audience believes in your ability to help, that's when they're ready to buy. So here's the real magic. When someone connects with who you are, is inspired by what you say, and then believes in how you can help, they're sold. And often even before you launch an offer, because content isn't just about being seen, it's about being trusted. Now, let's just dive into this a little bit deeper for just a moment. I've said that people buy for three main reasons, and there's different types of content that you can create to facilitate the increase in trust that people have for you. But instead of thinking of these three reasons in isolation, think of it as taking people on a journey with you. I've spoken about the client journey in plenty of episodes, even as far back as episode 3. But this journey takes our ideal client through 5 stages: connect, subscribe, nurture, convert, and onboard. And so when we think about creating content, we're touching each of those stages to help move them through not knowing anything about you all the way to becoming a raving paying client. So that first reason I gave you of buying because you identify with the person is all about the connect stage. We're showcasing who we are, what we believe in. At the connect stage, your ideal client is just discovering you. They're maybe still skeptical. They're probably overloaded and overwhelmed and unsure who to trust. So this is where being fully you, the beautiful you, matters the most. And this is reflected through the type of content you create. The second reason that people buy was because they share interesting ideas. Now, this relates to the subscribe and nurture stages. Your audience is now paying attention. They're reading, they're watching, they're listening. And your unique lens on things is what keeps them coming back. And this builds trust in your thinking and helps position you as an expert. And then that third reason is that you believe they can solve your problem. And this is the convert stage where your content needs to really communicate the transformation, not just what you do, but what shifts occurs when someone actually works with you. And this builds belief, and belief drives the buying decision. So you can see how content forms the building blocks to move your ideal client through that client journey and really cement the reasons that they're buying from you. It is that bridge between curiosity and commitment. So when you align what you say with how your audience feels and what they need to believe to actually buy from you, then your content stops being just noise that gets put out into the world. It starts becoming purposeful and the reason why they choose you. Now, if this episode has given you a few aha moments, and I hope it has, then you might like to explore this further with some reflection questions, which I love to give you in every episode to help you take your learning a little bit deeper and make it feel more personal. So the first question is, where in my content am I holding back from being fully me? Number two is, what idea, belief, or truth do I want to share with the world more boldly? And lastly, do I feel connected to my audience, or am I just performing for them? So I hope that you can take a moment today, whether you like to journal, writing your notes up, just have a quiet walk, think about these questions right now. And hopefully your answers will be able to guide you back to the content that's purpose driven and maybe, just maybe, even enjoyable to create. Okay, so if your content isn't converting, it's not because you're doing it wrong. You're probably just missing the alignment between connection, thought, and solution. And the thinking that content is really a journey rather than just a constant sales pitch. So start tuning into why you buy and then create content that mirrors that for your audience. Now, if you want more support with this, you can always come and join us inside the Content Effect, my membership, where we love to have discussions around topics like this. You can also check out my book, The Power of Content, for more support and insights into bringing more you to your content. And make sure that you hit subscribe so that you don't miss these weekly episodes of the podcast. All the links that you need are down in the show notes. Talk soon. Thanks so much for listening. That's it for another week. To get more powerful content in your life, make sure you're following along on socials. My handle is @meldbusiness. And just in case you're wondering, the groovy music for this podcast was created by Just Here on SoundCloud. I'd also be super grateful if you took a moment to rate and review this podcast so more amazing women like you can experience the power of content. And if you're like, hell Mel, stop talking, I'm ready to work with you now, here's how we can work some powerful content magic together. Firstly, come and join the Content Effect, my membership inspiring women with service-based businesses to ditch the content chaos and start creating stand-out content that gets you noticed and makes sales. You can join us by using the link in the show notes or just Google the Content Effect. The second way we can work together is via my one-on-one packages. We can create a sustainable content strategy or start to build out your client journey. It's up to you. Hop on over to meldbusinessservices.com.au/services to find out more. Until next time, have a beautiful week and embrace the power of your content.